All right, everybody, welcome back. We are here for another edition in our weekly Thursday trainings inside this group where we help you generate more leads, close more sales, and improve your profitability without spending an extra dime on marketing or advertising. Really excited about what we're going to cover today because it gets at a topic that comes up all the time as I'm working with contractors and as we're digging into some of the things that we know we could or should do, but don't for a lot of understandable reasons. We want to try and help remove some of the difficulty, remove some of the challenge to make and walk you through a simple process to help add this. And we're talking about follow up. We know that follow up is something that we should do, but we don't for a variety of reasons. Whether that's we just get caught up in the what we call the tyranny of the urgent, something that is super pressing. We've got to deal with it right now. Could be an employee issue, could be something from a current project that a customer's that's panicking about. Could be just things getting delayed, whatever that is. We know that there's so many plates that you've got to spin, and that they often will feel like we've got to just stay right on top and right in front of the fire that's in my face, rather than take a minute or even a second to go and check in with a bid that is sitting out there pending with someone that we know was interested but had some version of, and tell me if you've heard this one before, I need to think about it. I've got to talk to my spouse. We get spoused. Nobody likes to get spoused. Well, I've got to come up with some money, or I'm not sure if I can afford it, or I need to wait for another bid, or wait till the next spring, winter, whatever it is. There's some reason why we know people delay the decision after the bid. So what we want to do is help make sure you've got a follow-up process that is more than just something you wrote down to call the Johnsons back next week, or something that's just a calendar reminder or a post-it note somewhere, or something else that is keeping you from making sure you've got a repeatable system that you're going to use every single time to make sure that these bids come back to you. They come crawling back, and they are the ones that are reaching out to you to put deposits in your account and get your schedule filled up. So again, all of this without having to spend hours on end. However much time you're spending today on follow-up, whether that's a few minutes a day, a couple hours a week, we can really, frankly, automate all of it and just get you out of that business, but still get the benefit. And if that sounds okay, then I want to walk you through a couple of those steps. So let's get started with how we help you get that done. We'll show you a couple of examples, and then I'll give you a little bit behind the scenes look of how we've helped build this out for one of our clients. It's pretty cool. So we'll get you started here. Let's check it out. So if you've been following along for the last few weeks, one of the things that we covered last week was just, and hopefully you did it, all right, was just ways you can leverage social media. That was one of the areas we know that a lot of times we're posting on social media, getting crickets or not getting leads, not getting traction. So watch last week's training or feel free to reach out and let me know if you want a copy of this. We can get you the tools to help you with that. But today we're going to go into step 5 of the Marketing Money Saver 2.0, and that is about follow-up. So if you do nothing else, and if you don't watch another second of this video, your mission, should you choose to accept it, all right, let's go through the most recent 5, 10 or so bids you've sent that you haven't heard back from, and just send them a personalized follow-up, reach out to them. And it may make sense depending on what it is, depending on what's going on. Is there a special incentive, which, by the way, doesn't always have to be discounts, and I actually recommend that you don't. There could be other ways you can give them more urgency or reason why it'd be good to get on the schedule now versus later. Lots of other ways you can come up with that. Again, if you need help coming up with some that aren't just going to be things that kill your profits, let me know. But that's just one of the other areas. So let's find at least 5 of them and find out where they're at. Now, again, I've got a video inside this document that helps walk through a little more detailed look on some of the other strategies to implement these things. But I thought it might be helpful for today is to give you a little behind the scenes look of how we help, as I mentioned, automate a lot of those follow-up style messages to get people to come back to you. So let's show you what we've built. And this is inside a CRM software that my clients use. Very simple, very user-friendly, very easy to get done and implemented. And something, again, you build it once, it runs forever, and you just watch the data and the numbers and the cash roll in. So let's walk you through it. And so the first email or the first message, again, you can do this email, text, whatever platform works best, whatever style you're usually communicating with your customers for. But here's some of the things we can include. The first message, again, this is something that can go out just with a day or two after the estimate goes out, is just to check in. We don't necessarily have to feel like we've got to come at them with concessions or come at them with some other urgency or anything other than just, hey, do you still need help? And it's a very service oriented message. We want to make sure that they've got, if there's any questions, things they're thinking about, it's a quick check in message to say, hey, what's going on? Let's just start a dialogue. All we're trying to do with this first message is to reignite the dialogue to get some back and forth going. Wait a couple days, and then the next one. This one could be, and how we usually will think about the best way to structure these automated messages has a lot to do with what are the most common objections that you hear, reasons why people delay. And so sitting down with this client, one of the ones that tended to come up more often was things around budget. And so the second message is all about, hey, I thought this might help. We can help you finance. So here's some of our options, whether it's self-financing with down payments or doing installment payments, or we also have a financing partner that you can apply and get that going. So if that's something else you offer, again, just another way or you're helping to close the bridge, close the gap. So second message is really, again, we want to orient this around the most common objection that you hear. And if that for you, that happens to be financing, then let's make sure we get that after the first just casual check-in. One of the next ones, without, okay, let's build some social proof and some trust. That could be the other part of what people are rattling their brains around with. Should I really move forward with this 5-figure, 6-figure project, 7-figure project, whatever the case is? But what's going to help is sending a message that really speaks to and reinforces why they can trust you. So we've got a couple of testimonials inside here. Hey, I know I'm not the only person in town. Here's a couple of reviews. Again, these are quotes from customers. You've got these on your Google business profile or on your Facebook pages. Why not use them to help remind people of, hey, yeah, we're okay. We can, you don't have to worry about this. And it's even better if the messages you include are directly related to the project that you bid, and we can walk through how to help you get that structure. But that's, again, just a great way to give some social proof and let people know, hey, look, you can have confidence in moving forward. So that's another, again, great one. If you know, or if even you start to hear things like, I want to get multiple bids, or I need to think about it, or there's some level of just trust or comfort level. And we want to make sure that you're really landing these kinds of jobs from people that value quality work versus people who are just trying to race to the bottom and get the cheapest bid, right? So that's another key one. Next one in the list is that, hey, if after this point, we've had a couple different emails that you've gone out over the space of several days or a week or so, it might be time to give them one little extra nudge to push them over the fence. And that could be something like, hey, look, if you've got at least this, here's what we're doing. If you want to lock in your spot now, we can either do without, some kind of nominal deal, whether it's a minor discount or, again, maybe there's a better upgrade if you're doing a different type of project. Again, there's easy things you can add into the mix. I would say that people will pay twice the price if they feel like they're getting 4 times the value. So let's embed an offer here that doesn't break your bank, but at least gives them that, hey, look, with the next 7 days, here's what we can do for you. Again, we're trying to just get this thing locked in. Hey, materials might be going up, prices might be going up. It might be another reason why we can create some urgency to help them know that this is a good reason to do it. Okay. And then at the very end, if none of that's worked for whatever reason, they're still, and you can still see if they're opening these messages, you can see if they're clicking on them. Again, whether it's text or email, we can always get visibility into where people are in the process to see how we can adjust and adapt your follow-up sequences. And the next one is going to be, hey, look, here's top 7 questions. At this point, we'll say, look, hey, maybe they just are really trying to hem and haw, or a lot of people have different ways they go about making decisions as to who they can trust. And so here's something we put together. It's a PDF. You can check it out. Here's some questions you should ask your roofer. So they can be, this is more of a value service oriented message at the end of the process to help them feel like they're making the right choice and that they're going to not get caught off guard and get caught and have surprises. And this is something, again, a PDF document that we can put together, again, help you build up. All my clients build these things out. So there's something, again, is another service oriented ask to help them. So wanted to give you a walkthrough of just an example. Once you build something like this, again, it just runs in the background, makes it super easy. And how much better is your follow-up going to be if you know it's consistent every single time? If it's measurable, you can adjust and improve it. You can see where people are in the follow-ups and which ones they're responding to. How can we adjust? How much more money would you make inside your business if every single estimate had the same exact follow-up process that you could measure and see which ones at what stage people are either getting lost or which ones they're actually getting them to call and getting them to convert? All in the background. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to worry about looking for those post-it notes or those handwritten notes somewhere or all these other different things that are cluttering your calendar. And this can all just kind of work in the background for you. So follow-up is fortunate, or there's fortune in follow-up. That's the one. So if you want to have a system like this, or if you need some help, have some questions, just let me know down in the comments below and we can get you the tools that you've seen here and talk through what it might look like to help you develop a system that works for you. And we will catch you next week.